The European Center for Electoral Support, in collaboration with the Federal Republic of Germany, has inaugurated an inclusive representation resource center code named IREP Resource Center. The center, situated at the Kashi Development Area Council Secretariat in Nasarawa State, is to further boost democracy in Nigeria. Moyo Thomas tells us more.
The Uke community in Nasarawa has been chosen as a pilot for this project. And there are plans to open more inclusive representation resource centers in the country. The center hopes to empower women and people living with disabilities in order to include them appropriately in the election process and governance.
The idea, of course, is to extend the number of these kind of inclusive resource centers, but at this moment, I can't tell you how many we will open in the next months or in the next years.
It is a resilience by having this self-empowerment scheme, access, which has been brought to our doorsteps, and we feel every meaningful youth and also people that live with disabilities that will key in, so as in order to better our society.
In the last general election in the country, about 50% of voters were women, and only about 5.8% of political offices were allotted to them. On the other hand, out of about 4 million people living with disabilities in the country, none is represented in governance. This raises question on inclusiveness and equal representation canvassed for in democratic settings.
You have to decide in time. You have to identify with your community in good time. You have to be part of the process at the initial stage before you get to the level of the primaries.
Everyone has some measure of leadership quality in her or in him, and being disabled does not mean that you cannot contribute your quota. So that's why it's called the Inclusive Resource Center. So
I therefore declare this Inclusive Resource Center open to the glory of God and humanity.
Amen.
Thank you.
For this first phase of the project, the European Center for Electoral Support says it expended about 16,000 euros in total. With finances identified as one of the challenges facing women in governance in Nigeria, hopefully resource centers like this will address this and many more questions raised in the last general election. Moyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.